So eventually this video gets appetizing. It ends with luscious creations like these. But first, we need to talk about mayo. I never thought I would use the term gaslighting in a video before. But Hellmann's leaves me no choice. You see these two products based on the packaging and the ingredients, you'd expect them to be the same. That's what Hellmann's wants you to believe, but they are definitely not the same. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the world of store-bought mayo. Okay, so here's what happened. Recently, I was at Costco and they were sold out of my go-to Hellmann's mayo in a jar. The only option was the squeeze bottle. I really needed mayo, so I thought, sure, why not? It's the same thing in a different package. When I tasted the mayo from the bottle, I had a hard time believing that this could possibly be the same product. It had a completely different flavor profile. I would call it repulsive. But of course, taste is very subjective. The ingredients look the same, but since one of them is natural flavors, there is no reason why these flavors couldn't be different. Unfortunately, I can't demonstrate this flavor difference to you in a video, but at least I can demonstrate the texture. A cup of Hellmann's mayo from a jar weighs only 200 grams. A cup of Hellmann's mayo from a bottle weighs 226 grams. I tried weighing it both by shaking it out of the bottle without putting it through the tiny squeeze hole and by squeezing it through the hole, and it's still 226 grams. This means that this mayo from the bottle is denser. I just can't imagine why a company would do that. I'm fully aware of beauty companies creating multiple brands of soaps or shampoos to make it look like you have a choice when they're all basically the same thing. But I haven't seen it the other way around, when a company tells you it's their signature product when it's actually different. Sure, Coke does that in different countries to appeal to different markets, but both of these mayos are sold in the same store. Just to make sure Hellmann's didn't change all their mayo, I waited for the mayo in a jar to be back in stock before making this video. I am glad to report that it's still the same Hellmann's I've been using for the past 30 years. Out of curiosity, I decided to try two other big brands of mayo, Kraft and Cains. Here's how they compare to Hellmann's in a jar. Both Kraft and Cains were creamier and sweeter than Hellmann's. They were also not nearly as neutral. Kraft ingredients contain onion, garlic, and paprika. It was definitely the most complex of the three mayos. Cains was very creamy and very fruity, which is not surprising since one of the ingredients is apple cider vinegar. If you want to dunk a spoon into a jar and take a lick, Kraft and Cains would probably beat Hellmann's in a taste test. But here's why that's misleading. I don't know of any situation in which I would use mayo as is. To me, mayo is just emulsified oil. It's a texture base that I can flavor any which way I want. I tried my simplest possible mix of mayo, lemon juice, Dijon mustard, and salt with all four mayos that I had on hand. Hellmann's in a jar was a clear winner. Kraft and Cains tasted already flavored, and those flavors were impossible to mask. They weren't terrible flavors, but not what I was looking for. I was hoping that my own flavorings could make Hellmann's in a bottle edible, but nothing I threw at it worked. Its own awfulness shone right through. I have 100 grams of Hellmann's in each jar, or about a half a cup, and we'll turn them into 3 different flavors. All of them will get some garlic grated on a microplane zester. I find that grating it this way is really important. A garlic press doesn't break it down nearly as finely. 1 large clove will be enough for all these jars. It really doesn't take much. The first jar will become cilantro lime mayo. Most of the lime aroma is in the zest, and I'll grate it on the microplane zester too. Make sure to only add the green and not the bitter white pith. 2 teaspoons of freshly squeezed lime juice will give our mayo more zing and more aroma, a couple of tablespoons of minced cilantro, and some chili paste. I'm using a Lebanese red pepper paste for its gentle heat, but you can use any hot sauce. Give it all a mix and taste for salt. I find Hellmann's well seasoned out of the jar, but once I increase the acidity with lime juice, I need more salt as well. This is a very tasty mayo to serve with any sort of seafood like shrimp or fish cakes, but it makes a wicked good chicken sandwich as well. Our second jar will become a smoky mayo. It will need 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and a pinch of salt. My smoked paprika is completely not spicy, so I'll add a tiny bit of that Lebanese red pepper paste. This is one of my favorite sauces for roasted potatoes or sweet potato fries. And our third jar will become a balsamic miso mayo. We'll need 1 teaspoon of balsamic vinegar and 2 teaspoons of white miso, though any miso will work as long as it's smooth. Give it all a mix and taste for salt. Mine needed just a pinch. This is my favorite mayo to smear on a brioche bun with a burger. In real life, I never measure any of these ingredients. I just add a little of this and a little bit of that until it tastes right. One thing I want to point out is the incredible texture of these flavored mayos. Out of a jar, Hellmann's is a bit jiggly. It's not smooth and creamy like other mayos, but this extra viscosity is what makes the addition of liquid ingredients like lemon or lime juice possible without making it too thin. I know that I'll get comments on this video telling me how far superior homemade mayo is. I've been blissfully ignoring this kinds of comments for over 10 years, but no more. Recently, I made homemade mayo and something terrible happened. Don't worry, my mayo emulsified perfectly. The problem I've encountered is of a completely different nature. It caught me completely by surprise. But that will have to wait till the next video when we'll take a deep dive into the world of homemade mayo. Here are more thought-provoking culinary videos for you to check out, and if you are ever in the Boston area, maybe I'll see you in one of my classes.